So this is a level check. We'll do a 1, 2, 3. Level check, 1, 2, 3. Really like to get rid of that banner. Think your tape would hold it up? Just pull the corner up?
Level check, 1, 2, 3. Level check, 1, 2, 3. Level, level, level. Level check, hey, hey, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, hey, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll back this one down just a hair. Level check, 1, 2. Level check, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Is this distorted at all? What are you hearing? Is this distorted? 1, 2, 3, distortion. Or is this one distorted? Hey, hey, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Is it? Clear? Yeah, I'm asking a question to you. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to take it. Check 1, 2. Hey, hey, 1, 2. All right, good evening and welcome. We are in Deland, Illinois. Is there a Deland, Illinois? I don't know. We're south of Farmer City, about 15 miles, and Deland Weldon High School. And good evening and welcome from Deland Weldon, where another night of high school volleyball. We've got JV and varsity action tonight coming up at 6 o'clock. So in about 21 minutes from now, first serve gets underway for the JV squad, and then followed shortly thereafter by the varsity squad. So we're about 20 minutes or so, 21 minutes away from getting this one started, and we'll be back with you here in a few. Well, good evening once again, and welcome to live broadcast tonight from Deland Weldon High School, somewhere south of Farmer City, Illinois. Tonight we've got JV and Varsity volleyball here coming. As the Eagles from, are they the Knights or the Eagles? They are the Eagles from Deland Weldon here. Take on your Cyclones from Cornerstone. This is a conference matchup tonight, the ECIC Conference, East Central Illinois Conference, of which we are members of. That consists of Deland Weldon, that we're here tonight, Buckley Christ Lutheran, Arthur Okaw Christian, Calvary Christian Academy, Decatur Christian Warriors, Judah Christian, and Unihigh out of Champaign that we played game 1 of the season. So we've got about 11 and a half minutes until we get started in here. We're in about the 5-minute mark of the Eagles getting warmed up here, and then Cornerstone will have 6 minutes, and then we'll get this one underway. Quickly go over your JV roster this evening. So from top to bottom in numerical order, 4, London DeHart, 5, Lizzie Hennard, 6, Kate Hancock, 8, Aubrey Kinzinger, 10, Carson Witt, 11, Faith Hughes, 12, Eliana Woodman, 13, Grace Masters, 16, Caitlin Scott, 17, Maris Largent, 28, Natalie Heil, 29 is Karis Wolf. So I'm thinking I will be joined here later on this evening by Mr. Jeremy Masters, but that time is not yet. So 2 nights ago, we were up at Cullum, Illinois at Tri-Point, and both teams picked up a victory there. So both JV and Varsity now sit at 2-3 on the season. Those 3 losses, 2 of them were incredibly well fought and could have gone either way against very good squads. So it's going to be interesting because when you, as we saw up in Tri-Point, you know, when you play teams that are, I'm going to say, not as advanced as you played earlier in the season, we didn't respond that well against Tri-Point, and it showed, and we played very sloppily. And so I know Coach is going to try to work on tightening all that up and seeing how the girls respond this evening. Not quite for sure what we're going to run into with the Eagles here from Deland Weldon, but I know the school size, and you know, I would imagine it's going to be not as competitive from a standpoint of having incredible front players like they did in Tremont there at CCA. So we'll see what happens tonight, and we'll see how this one plays out. But we're down to about 9 minutes, so I'll be back here in a couple, and we'll go through the starting lineup and talk a little bit more about the game. That's ridiculous. But I think it's a dry heat, Mr. Heil.
he was coming from this way, heading back to Bloomington.
I wonder what he was down this way.
I don't know. I was gonna text him, but I was driving.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
Oh my! I think I ate too much.
I need to bring that.
I should have brought you some.
Oh, I've got one. It looks good hanging on my garage wall, apparently.
It's a season to keep it in the dark.
Right?
A little bigger gym than last night, isn't it? Or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, than 2 nights ago.
It's all blurry
My
together.
nights all run together.
I tell you, I was thinking, was that last night? And I had to lean over and ask Dave. I said, say the 8th or the 9th. So that was. We did have an off night last night.
I was trying to think what we even did. A bunch of chores from not being home from
Yeah.
Heathens. Is East Winoka doing Wednesday night stuff right now? Is it Awana season? Did you? Did you talk about the presidential discussion today? End times are here after that one.
We started watching the Trail of Tears miniseries last night, so
You've probably already seen that one.
Oh, yeah.
well, we watched the George Washington one about a month or two ago. That got me pretty riled up.
Yes.
Did you listen to the talk today?
I just read the summary. What
I
are your
just now
thoughts?
got your text. It just came through.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess.
the horse and carriage taking it all the way to the tower. So,
Did you have any more thoughts or just the same old?
well, what's Cornerstone going to do? They got 103 employees.
Well, they're already in that boat, though, aren't they? I mean, weren't they already?
Kind of, but now this is kind of
But
holding their feet to the
that
fire.
was a state mandate.
Right.
This is a federal mandate. This is executive order. It's. I don't know how that plays out. Is that
It's
law?
backed
It's
by-
punishable. It's
By
punishable.
OSHA. OSHA's going to enforce it.
I mean, is it like affect anyone that wasn't already affected, or?
Well, let's put it this way: if Cornerstone elected to not, to back out of Illinois State Board of Education and not listen to what the governor said, this made that all pointless. Because now it's a federal mandate. And you know what, you guys, we all know. I was talking to the girls on the way down. We all know that it's a matter of time till you're not going to be able to travel if you don't have it. You're not going to be able to ride public transportation. You're not going to be able to go into grocery stores. You have to get stuff via delivery or whatever. There's
You
going
have to scan your forehead
yeah,
across the
right. There's going to be a barcode.
Actually, they got the little guns. They just shoot you.
Right. It's just, it's interesting because I hate to draw the comparison to, the mark of the beast, but there's a lot of parallels to this.
Why do you hate to draw it?
I was going to
I
say.
know, but you hate to be
The
that.
shoe fits.
I understand, but
It's not a far leap anymore.
no, it's not. It's not. It's not.
I think all it's going to take is for China to decide that they're going to repossess us, and then they'll put barcodes in all our
They could
foreheads,
have done that.
and
They
it's
could do
done.
that anytime.
Yeah. No, it's the Red Dragon. Red Dragon is China. Communist China. They're going to repo us.
Actually, wasn't the Red Dragon? Isn't that the Evil Squad in Karate Kid?
Your mom's
See, they
Mrs.
were already
Revelation.
prophesying
They
it. in
were. It was
Karate
already
Kid.
there.
Your mom's Mrs. Revelation. What does she have to say?
Well, my mom has said my mom's got a different view of the whole thing. She's pro-vaccine, so
Is she still pro mandates though? I mean, that's two different things.
she's in a different category. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm anti you making me do something.
I
Right.
agree.
Right.
If
It's
at
the
the,
principle of it.
if at the end of the day I need to get the vaccine, it will be my choice, not by somebody saying I've got to put it in me.
And that's the irony of it. You've said it and heard it. It's my body, my choice. It's the
Yes, it is more fun, but it's time for a volleyball game. Let me see here. I got to get myself all untangled.
Oh, I see how you did the camera. I like it.
A little different. So we got a little different camera angle here tonight. We had to see what I had to do to the
What do we got?
necessity is the mother of invention. Right above you, the banner. I had to clip the banner, and
Oh.
I tied it off with some earbuds.
What was the banner doing?
It was blocking. It was in the corner of the shot.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, here, I'm going to unplug my mic for a second. Well, I was looking for, I wanted to get this up higher because we had it sitting right on this ledge, and then our heads and everything are in it, and it's kind of, you're not in it. You can sit right in front. You're fine. Well, good evening and welcome once again to Deland Weldon High School in Deland, Illinois. Is that Deland? Are we in Weldon or Deland?
I think this is closer to Weldon. I'm not even sure where Deland is at.
I don't know if Deland is a thing, but they have a high school, and we're in it, and they're playing Cornerstone tonight, which is the whole reason why we're here. So 6 o'clock start, getting set for the JV game. Let's run through that roster one time. Number 4, London DeHart. Number 5, Lizzie Hennard. Kate Hancock is 6. 8 is Aubrey Kinzinger. 10, Carson Witt. 11, Faith Hughes. 12, Eliana Woodman. 13, Grace Masters. 16, Caitlin Scott. 17, Maris Largent. Sorry about that. We did not. I wasn't expecting that one, Jeremy, because they typically do it before the varsity game. So, Maris Largent, number 17, 28, Natalie Heil, and 29 is Karis Wolf. So Dan Kinzinger joined by Jeremy Masters as usual, and Jeremy 2-3 now on the season. This will be another interesting game tonight. I think it's going to be a lot like what we saw up at Tri-Point, and we'll see how the girls play this evening.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very similar to Tri-Point in that this is a school that Cornerstone's used to playing. This is a level of competition they're used to playing, so it'll be interesting tonight to see the matchups here. And I think JV should set the stage here. And did JV play, or when they were in junior high, did they play Deland Weldon?
We have. We've played Deland Weldon. I don't think we played them last year. We did play them a couple of years ago, and it was a quick match, but a lot changes in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like, looking at their JV squad, looks like they're matched up nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's no Tremont trees that are here tonight.
No.
And, but it looks like the starters are out there. So you got Witt, Hennard, Heil, Woodman, Masters, and Hancock out there tonight. They're going to do the little turn the corner, wavy wave, think we're going to touch hands. Not quite, though, confusing thing that the kids still don't understand. So we're going to see. So this isn't even a run around. Nope, this is just a walk up 4 steps awkwardly and get in position. So that's how this one's going to start.
Larger gym tonight. We got a little more
is.
height on us, so we can hit those passes up in the air a little more.
Yep, little awkward camera angle tonight. Just that's where we got positioned. So, but we are on the Cyclone side. Not the crowd that we've been used to over the past few nights. So.
We'll see if it gets bigger for the varsity game.
The entertainment's going to have to come from the two of us.
Oh, man, that's scary.
So I believe the Cyclones will get to serve first here.
Deland Weldon, pretty small school district. One of the public school districts, smallest school districts, I would say.
It's one of the ones that has not been eaten up in consolidation yet.
Yeah. I saw their school buses outside. They had 3, maybe 4 school buses. So I don't know if they treat those as like company vehicles and you get to drive them home or how that works. Or if they really only have 3 or 4.
That first kill attempt there by Kate Hancock goes into the net. And so the first point of the night will go to Deland Weldon. They started off serving. So Deland Weldon, part of the ECIC, the East Central Illinois Conference that we're members of as well. Interesting underhand serve. Hancock backside to Witt. Far back now to Hennard, who just has to get it over, and that one's going to go out of bounds. So a quick little hole here by the Cyclones. 2-0.
Not used to seeing that by Cornerstone.
Yeah.
A couple of miss hits right out of the gate.
And they're rarely easy ones right there. Another interesting serve. That's down low. Heil with it. Has to try to back up and set it, and that one goes off the front of her hands. And just out of the reach of Carson. So 3-0, the Eagles up here. And I know it's only been 3 points, but just another slow start here.
It is. And that's what we've seen with this JV squad.
Hancock back up to Witt. Has to go back to Kate. Kate just reaches, tips it over. And now we're going to see how Weldon responds. They're not going to spike it. They're just going to hit it over. Kate back up to Witt. Far side over to Hennard. Hennard reaches and fires. That one's down. And if we do that all night long, this will be a very fast game.
Yeah, and here we go. So we need to just get warmed up, and it seems like the JV takes just a little bit to get warmed up, but once they get rolling, they roll.
Quiet gym, and these girls don't play well in quiet gyms. They never have. Hennard back with it. Nice serve by Lizzie. Playable now by Deland. Front row, up to the middle. Reaches back, fires, and long out of bounds. And a point to the Cyclones, now trail by 1 at 3-2.
Lizzie's serving her second serve here.
Hennard fires down in the middle, dug out, and see, this should be a very fast game tonight.
I think it will.
Should be. Hennard back with it again. Fires deep in the back row, and a swing and a miss in the back row. And the Cyclones have their first lead of the night at 4-3.
And I think that's 3 aces for Lizzie.
3
right
in a row.
And just like that, Cornerstone's up by 1.
So all we've got to do is nice serve receive here and keep this going. Back row again, same person. This one's right up at the net. Hit over nicely by Masters. Back row, Hennard up to the front. Witt setting up. Back set over to Heil, who just has to get it across. She does. Dug out nicely here by Deland. Back to the middle, just tipped over to the middle. Dug out by Hennard. Up to Witt. Front side, Hancock fires back row, and that one's going to go out of bounds.
Good hit by Hancock.
Yep.
So there we go. We're starting to see some rhythm.
And that's what these girls need. They get in rhythm, kind of get the funk out right away, and get moving. Hennard with it now. Serve number 5. Backside, inbounds, and a nice ace there by Lizzie, and it is 6-3.
And Deland could struggle to get Lizzie off serve here.
Yeah. If Lizzie's just consistent, just put your serves in bounds. They don't have to be anything fancy.
And to me, it looks like she's taken a little bit of steam off of her serve tonight. I don't know if that's by design or what. Well, that one wasn't.
That one's an ace inbounds. That one had a little steam behind it.
She did.
So Hennard now with 6 points in a row.
That's what happens when I try to comment on their serving before they serve.
They hear us.
Yeah.
Hennard going for serve number 7 here. And back corner again, dug out back row, going out of bounds. And Lizzie Hennard is racking up the aces here.
7 in a row.
8-3, Cornerstone now up by 5. Hennard back with it, fires the middle. That one hits, and another ace. And, Lizzie is doing exactly what you said. There was a couple of them there that she hit back to the back. They scooted back. She took a little bit off and just popped it down. Nothing fancy.
No.
Nothing fancy at all. And they're going to take a timeout to boot.
I am guessing that the coach is saying, hey, let's just put it in play. We don't have to hit it hard.
Yep.
Let's try to get some volleys.
Yeah, and that's they're at this point in time, if you're Coach Morin, you're telling your servers, you guys don't just get it over. Let them make the mistakes. They're going to make the mistakes, and let's just play conservative at this point in time.
Yeah. Try to get some volleys going, get into our rhythm, and get some good practice here.
9-3, so the Cyclones now up by, after going down 3-0, now up by 6. And Lizzie Hennard with 8 straight points. So back out there, same 5. And let's see if Hennard, I don't think I've ever seen one server run the table in a game. Have you?
No, but we may see it right now.
This is interesting. That one's up in the air. This one's going to be played, though. Deland Weldon has to get it across. Long and out the back. And, again, another nice serve by Lizzie. Nothing fancy. She's playing it very conservative, and the Cyclones now up by 7 at 10-3. Nice serve by Hennard. Up in the air, going the wrong way for Deland. Up to the front, has to get hit over. Dug out by Woodman. Up to Witt, forward set. Kate Hancock loads, fires, out of bounds. And Kate does this, and it is just it's a timing issue. And I think once she works out that timing issue, she's going to be deadly.
Yeah, there's an out of bounds serve there, but Woodman had a great pass up to Witt. Witt had a great set, and I think Hancock just got behind that ball. And, yeah, like you said, it's just a matter of her getting her timing down. And once she does, that ball's going down.
Kate Hancock is one of the more solid servers on the team as well. And Cornerstone now up by 7. Witt now. Back set. Heil reaches back, fires across court. Tipped, going out of bounds. They're going to have to get it across. Not going to happen. And Cornerstone now up 12-4. So an 8-point Cyclone lead here. And Hancock, she had moments last year when she was unstoppable as a server. She's fantastic. And she's got that high release point from her serve. And it goes straight down. Heil now to the back corner. That one's just caught like a touchdown pass. And a point back to the Cyclones.
Good effort by Lizzie on that one. And then Grace was able to put it in the middle of the court and put a good hit on it. I'm not sure who had the hit on it.
Faith Hughes is into the game now. Another great serve by Hancock. Back up to the middle. Long set back in the back. A block attempt by Hughes, and that one goes off her hand, and she knew it right away. You could see it on her face that she thought she had that one. And so we got a side out. Back over to Deland. And in for Kate Hancock is number 8, Aubrey Kinzinger. So 23 back to serve now for the Eagles. 13-5. Cornerstone leads here in set number 1 of the JV game. Nice serve by 23. Kinzinger up to the front row. Witt back set over to Hughes. Hughes just tips it over up to the front row for Deland. That one's going to go over and out of bounds. And a point back to the Cyclones. Side out, 14-5, 9-point Cyclone lead.
And that one, Hughes had a chance to really put that one down. It looked like she was just kind of sitting back on her heels a little bit. So I don't know if that's part of the game plan here. Or
I think it's, coach is saying, let's get a set ahead and see what happens. And Heil fires one into the net there, so side out back over to Deland. And that's it. The points that have come from our mistakes. And that's something we've got to clean up. This serve just grazes the top of the net, brought out by Witt. This one's going up over to Hughes. Hughes fires and hits into the net. And so Deland Weldon there with a point, 14-7, 7-point Cyclone lead. Number 7 back for the Eagles. Serves deep, back row. Kinzinger up in the air, up to Heil. Heil front set up to Hughes. Hughes fires, back corner, and that one's going to go out of bounds. And 14-8, 6-point Cyclone lead. Number 7 back to serve again here. Has got a couple serves in. Back row, Kinzinger up in the air. Heil, back set, over to Masters. Masters just with a beautiful little tap. Far side, reaching over, just tap again, up in the air. Great save by Masters. Up in the air, back to Hughes. Hughes fires, and that one's out the back. And we're going to see Karis Wolf here come into the game for Faith Hughes. 14-9 now, 5-point Cyclone lead here in set number 1.
So it looks like Coach is going to mix it up here for the middle hitter. See what happens here with Wolf.
Heil here, setter up to Wolf, and Wolf mistimed that one a little bit, was still able to play it. This one blocked by Wolf. Back up in the air, they just have to get it across. Kinzinger up to Heil. Heil now, far side, Masters reaches back, and a great She saw that back corner open and turned her body at the last minute to fire to that back corner. Side out back to the Cyclones, and she's going to get the serve now.
Yeah, she was able to get on top of that ball, put even some top spin on it. Good serve.
Nice serve by Grace. Played up in the air. They got to get it across. This one's just going to graze the net. Up to Heil. Quick set over to Hennard. Hennard now back corner. Back up to the front row for Deland. They've got to get it across. They do. That one's going to drop. What a nice save by Wolf to get that one back across. Deland back row. Up in the air with Masters. Wolf again. Nicely saved. Heil sets up for Wolf. Over now. Hennard has to get it across and just hits it into the net. And that one didn't. That was reversed in the way they want to do things. I mean, they don't want Wolf making that set.
No, but that was a good bump set from Wolf out to Hennard.
It was, but I don't think anybody expected that, including Lizzie.
No, I wasn't. I thought Wolf was going to put that one over.
I did too. 14 back to serve for Deland. That one's going out of bounds. So it'll go back to the Cyclones here at 16-10. Kate Hancock coming back into the game for Aubrey Kinzinger. 6-point Cyclone lead here in set number 1.
I'd like to see Wolf get a couple of blocks up at the net.
I would too.
That gets everybody charged up.
Including her. That one's going to fall down on the ground, so Karis here, and maybe the serves will get her too.
Yeah. She could go on a run here.
17-10, 7-point Cyclone lead. Reaching back, another great serve there by Karis. Up to the front row. Playable here by Deland. They just tip it over. Masters digs it out. Up to Heil. Heil, back set. Reaches Hancock back to the back row. Played around. Hennard with it. Back up to Heil. Back over to Hennard. Hennard reaches, fires, and a great one.
Hit right at the back line. And she put some steam on that one.
Nice hit by Lizzie there. 18-10 now. 8-point Cyclone lead. Wolf back with it. Another nice serve by Karis. Playable by Deland up to the front row. A little set and a reach. Dug out by Masters. Back up to the front. This one's going to be trouble. It was at the net. Masters has to reach back, get it across, and does so nicely. Deland at the back row. Gets it across. Dug out by Masters. Up to Heil. Back set over to Hancock. Hancock gets it over. We want to see those sets up right by the net. Hancock. Heil reaches over. Witt with it.
Wow.
Playable, and that one's going out of bounds. And Carson Witt, I mean, I saw Hancock loading up right in front of Heil, and Heil sets the back set to Witt.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. That was a good volley on that one. That's the best volley we've seen so far.
Wolf, nice serve. Cornerstone up 19-10, going deep in the back row. Masters has that one. Maybe would have been out of bounds, but, you know, the whole team hadn't seen one of those all night, so they were all sucked up to the front half.
It was close. I don't know if that would have been out. It was going right for the line, so it was hard to say.
Woodman into the game for Wolf. 19-11, 8-point Cyclone advantage. Number 11 to serve for the Eagles here. Serve to the back row. Masters dug it out. Heil, far side. Witt fires across, and a nice hit by Witt. Just grazes the top of the net, and that's, again, that's one that just screws with you when it hits the top of the net like that.
Yeah, kudos to Deland Weldon on that one for being able to bring that one back over.
19-12, 7-point lead here. Fires to the back row. Hennard up to Heil. Forward set to Hennard. Hennard fires across, puts it down. Lizzie's had a couple of nice kills tonight.
Yeah, she has. And actually, Witt's last hit was a very good hit. They were just able to get a hand on it at the net and slowed it down.
And you see what they're doing here now. Since they're putting Heil up there as the setter, getting Witt out of the picture, getting Heil some of that run for that tournament here in a couple weeks when Witt's not going to be there to be the setter.
Yep.
20-12, 8-point Cyclone lead. Masters up to Witt. Witt now short sets to Hancock, and again, Hancock just on her timing right there. That's all that was.
Yeah, quick set on that one, and Hancock wasn't quite set up for it.
When she does lock in, it's deadly, but the timing is an issue right now.
Yeah. Need to get into a rhythm.
2013, 7-point Cyclone lead. This one up to Hancock. Witt back to Hancock. Times that one well. Deland has to get it over. Dug out by Witt. Up to Hancock. Far side, Heil. Heil, this one off the palm of her hand and right into the top of the net. 20-14, 6-point Cyclone lead. Deland now with it to serve. And we're back to that interesting serve. Hancock, Witt, far side. Heil reaches back. Nice hit by Heil. Up to the front row. Deland brings it back, and this one's going deep into the back. Hughes up with it. Woodman. Henner just has to get it across. She does. Back up the front row. Hancock kills. She timed that one, and she saw it coming.
Yeah, she did. They set that one up right to her. So she got the set she wanted. It was just from the other side.
The other side, right. All right, we'll see. Lizzie started this run out. We'll see if she can't end it here. 21-14. Nice serve by Hennard. Up to the front row. They just reach back to the back row. Witt with it. Up to Hennard. Far side. Masters. Beautiful tip. Witt now with it. Has to get it up. Woodman. Nobody was there where Witt was passing it to, and so Woodman had to make a quick choice there to go up and get it. And it was just a little bit out of her reach, so we'll have a side out here, 21-15. I love what Grace did there. Instead of trying to kill it, she just tipped it over the hands.
Yeah, I think she knew her timing wasn't just right, what she needed for a good hard hit, so she tipped it right over.
Number 20, nice serve to the back row. Witt back over to Masters, fires the back row, nicely played. Up to the net, hard to dig out. That's a double hit. And a side out and a point back to the Cyclones.
It was a good back row hit there by Masters.
22-15 the score. Hancock back to serve. And a confusion there on the rotation, and I think that threw off Kate.
It did.
Yeah.
You could see her just stutter just a little bit as she was coming through.
So checking back into the game is 29 Karis Wolf and Aubrey Kinzinger back in for Hancock and Woodman. 23 back to serve for Deland. Back row, this one's going to go into the net or under the net, as the case may be. Side out back to the Cyclones, 23-16. And Natalie Heil. See if Natalie can't end this set for us. Back row, beautiful serve by Natalie.
Great serve.
And it was right at the two. Maybe would have been a little bit long, but they decided to return it nonetheless. And the hard serves like that, if they come hard at you, they're going to get they give you a shorter time to think. And so
and that one was going for the line, so they had to make a decision quick.
Heil again. They're going to say that was on the line.
That did look line.
That was pretty close. 24-17 regardless. What we think doesn't matter.
Nope. We're still at game point here.
Back row, Kinzinger up to Heil. Near side, Wolf to put it over. She does. Playable. That one's going to go out of bounds, and the set one win goes to the Cyclones. So nice job, Green, as they come off here. And Jeremy, they played better than they did Tuesday night, and I think they're again, it's not a live environment like it has been the past few games, but overall that was a much better performance by the girls than it was 2 nights ago.
Yeah, a lot less unforced errors on that one, but a slower pace of play.
Yeah,
I don't know that the coach really likes that because it doesn't allow the girls to play to their potential. So this isn't really the best thing. You can get a win out of it, but if they're not playing to their potential, that's not helping us a whole lot.
Yeah, this is a game where get those who don't get as much playing time, get them in, and let them stretch their legs here.
Yep.
And I would imagine you're going to see Hancock and Witt come out for this second set, and you're going to see Heil and Wolf in there up in the front row a lot more. And again, I'm not saying anything that's not public information, but the tournament rosters for 2 weeks from now are released. So the JV is going to be without Hancock and Witt for that tournament. So I know Coach is going to want to get Heil as much time up in that front row as possible.
Yeah.
And then I did also see Maris Largent in pregame doing a lot of setting as well. So get them the minutes now just to get comfortable up there.
Yeah, and this is a good opportunity for those other girls that are going to be competing in that JV tournament, just to get some court time and to get into a rhythm with the girls they're going to be playing with, because that's what they need.
Yeah, and you know, Natalie's a great setter. She's fantastic. In any other school, she'd be the number one setter. We just have this. For lack of better terms, freak of an athlete of Carson Witt, who's just fantastic, and any school would be lucky to have her. But I would foresee next year she's full-time varsity 24/7. So
yeah. So this will be interesting to watch because the setter and those hitters really have to get their timing down, and that just takes practicing together, playing together. And so this will be a good opportunity. Hopefully in this second set we'll get to see that from some people that we don't normally get to see from.
Yep, it'll be kind of fun here to watch the second set. Hopefully the JV team ends us in 2. I'm thinking this ought to be a good, quick varsity match as well tonight.
Yep.
And get ready. I think freshmen have freshman retreat tomorrow, so it's going to be a long day for them. So Deland Weldon's part of the ECIC, which is East Central Illinois Conference, which is what we're in. That's combined of Unihigh, which we played in week 1, Judah Christian, Decatur Christian, Calvary, they're in normal, Greenview, Deland Weldon, Buckley Christ Lutheran, and Arthur Okaw Christian and us. And I think we make a trip to Arthur later on this season.
Looking forward to that.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
Aren't you? Yeah.
I think we can get some pie while we're there. That's what I'm looking forward to.
If I go early enough, they got the world's most fantastic restaurant right there on the way in. What is that called? It's a buffet there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
It's homemade cooking. That's all I know.
It's fantastic.
So I didn't get to go to last year's Arthur game, but it sounded like it was quite the game that I missed. So I'm hoping to get to go there this year. Deland Weldon's, well, here goes Witt serving. I'll wait for that comment.
Witt out the back.
Ace right out of the gate. Deland Weldon's varsity team traditionally is pretty good. They had a D1 recruit 2 years ago, and she was something else.
Did they really?
Oh, she destroyed us. So we'll see. Just because their JV struggling a little bit, their varsity may have a surprise for us.
Witt fires the back row. Weldon's got to get it across, and Karis Wolf dunks it into the top of the net, and that one then rolled back the wrong direction.
That ball had enough topspin. She didn't quite time it right, and it just trickled on over. It looked like she had made a slam dunk on our side.
1-1 tied up here in set number 2. Masters over to Witt, up to Wolf. Wolf just tips it over the back row. Played up by Deland, up to the front, 23, off the top of the net. And kind of a lucky tap there, and that's, again, the net is a 7th player for people sometimes.
Yeah, Karis was right there again, and she could have easily blocked that. Yep. Just the timing of it again.
Deland up 2-1 now. Back row, Woodman up to Witt. Heil reaches back for it and turns and fires into the net. And the Cyclones find themselves in another early hole like they did in set number 1 at 3-2-1.
Unfortunately, this is not a place they're not accustomed to. I mean, they are very accustomed to being down early.
Yeah, that's how
unfortunately
every set this year has seemed to go.
Yeah.
Back row, Wolf back to Witt. Witt now, quick tip over the net. And Deland Weldon picked it up really nicely. 23 tips it over. Hennard with it. Back to Woodman, back to Hennard. Hennard just has to lob it over. Back row, up to 23. Reaches, almost blocked by Wolf. And it goes off the top of her hands. And then, again, just like the net, it changes the velocity of the ball. And everybody's caught out of position at that point in time.
But Wolf is there once again, and she will get those blocked here soon.
4-1, Deland with the early lead here in set number 2. Cyclones lead 1-0. Masters up to Witt. Back set, Hennard. Hennard just tips it over. Deland picks it up nicely. They've got to get it across right here, so it's going to be tipped short. Hennard with it, drawn out of ground, Witt, and then over to Wolf, and again, that was just a timing issue. And
they'll get
Wolf,
that dialed in here.
Wolf turns it on when she gets herself psyched up.
Yeah. That's what we need.
That's what we need. We need her to get crazy happy right now. Heil up to Witt, quick over to Wolf. Wolf reaches back to the back row. Deland far side, 25, just reaches back and tips it over. Woodman. Hennard has to get it over, and she does. Wolf almost had to block that one, but they did get it back over. Witt now, quick tip over to Deland. And another quick tip here. getting a little congested on our side.
Yeah, it is.
Hennard with it, fires to the back row. That one's going to go out of bounds, and that was getting a little ugly there in the middle.
A little sloppy. Hopefully they can get that straightened out. We had about 4 players all going for the same ball.
Let's see, Deland is pretty much not aiming. They're just hitting the ball over, and it seems to be going right in the middle every time. And a great serve there by Lizzie Hennard. And we're back within 2 at 5-3.
And I think we're going to see what we saw in the first set.
Yep.
Lizzie's probably going to go about 8 straight here.
Hennard's going to stretch it out. We'll see. Another nice serve by Lizzie. That one going to the back row, wrong direction. It's going to be playable. They're going to get it over. And Heil with it up in the air. Nice job by Natalie. Dug it out again. Great job by Natalie. Wolf just tips it over. Deland now. Loading up, back row. Woodman up to Witt. Back set over to Heil. Heil just tips it over, and a nice, that was unassuming. You thought she was going to hit it, and then it was kind of between a tip and a hit.
Well, she let that ball drop a little farther than I was expecting, but she had enough topspin on it that actually turned out really well.
Hennard with it, far side. Dug out by Deland. Eagles reach back, fire up. Woodman, nice dig. That one down, and number 23 just found a hole and put it there. So side out back to Deland. 6-4 now the score. Deland leads. Substitution in the game for the Eagles. She's coming in to serve, number 20. That one back to Woodman. Witt now, far side. Masters reaches back for it. And a great hit by Grace. Just caught number 20 out of position. And Grace, her timing's right on tonight.
Yeah, she hit that one deep, and 20 had to lean over a little bit more than she wanted to, and that one was not coming back over.
Hughes coming into the game now for Woodman. Wolf back to serve. Back row. That one's going to go right up at the net, and I think that caught Natalie off guard there just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think she was expecting that one to hit the net. When it did, that throws all the timing off.
Yep, sure does. 7-5. Eagles up by 2 here in set number 2. Cyclones won set number 1. Kinzinger now into the game for Wolf. And number 2 back to serve, 22 back to serve for Deland. This serve short, and Masters has to run up for it. Witt now setting over. Hughes with it, and just not quite enough on that one.
This underhand serve coming from Deland Weldon,
yeah,
actually is a little tricky.
It's weird. It's weird. I haven't seen that for a couple of years.
Well, it lands in the front row, and they're not used to getting that serve received like that.
Right. And Witt up with it, and again, Hennard had to go low because that serve was the serve that did it. You're right.
The coach calls a timeout here.
Cyclones down 9-5 here in set number 2.
So Cornerstone struggling here a little bit to get something going.
And it's a little bit of unconventional play from Deland, who are still seem very young in their skill level. And so, but Cornerstone hasn't seen that. We haven't seen the underhand serve that's lobbed 22 feet in the air and then comes down at the front row. You haven't seen that in 2 years.
No, they're going to definitely.
You don't practice that.
They definitely don't. That front row is just not used to taking a serve receive, so they're going to have to make some adjustments from that.
Cyclones coming back out. So out there right now you've got Heil in the front row with Witt and Hughes, back row Kinzinger, Hennard, and Masters.
We are Fujiwara up, ready to go.
Still don't quite understand that, but I think it's when three storms meet.
3 Cyclones come together.
Okay. But there's 12 on this team. Anyway, Heil fires to the back row.
It's a multiple of 3.
Puts that down. And we got a side out back to the Cyclones. So Natalie, who is incredibly capable when she's on. Beautiful serve. If she could do that every single time.
And she always nails her first one.
Yep, she always does. We're not going to talk about this.
No.
We're going to let it see play out here.
We're going to see something good.
If she gets her second, she'll be on a roll. Beautiful. Oh, nope, that one's out of bounds. And again, just it's the small things that we do, the small mistakes that we make that put us down 10-7.
Yeah.
Back row, Masters up. Heil now, setting it back forward over to Witt, who fires to the back row. Masters again with it up to Heil, who just taps it over, and that was out of necessity because she was so close up to the net, she couldn't set that backwards and did a great job putting it right over on the far side.
Yeah, that pass got up close to the net, and she just had to put it over, which is a good, quick decision on her part.
Grace Masters, beautiful serve, back row. Number 7 gets it up to the front. They got to get it over. They do. Kinzinger digs it out up to Heil. Far side over to Witt, who has to backtrack just a little bit. Witt wanted to come forward and step into that hit, but that set was right back where she was standing, so it threw her off her game a little bit.
Yeah, again, where that set ends up is so critical for that outside hitter to come in and approach that just right. The timing is everything.
Deland now up 11-8. That one's in the net, so a side out now 11-9. Cyclones down by 2, and Wolf coming back into the game for Kinzinger.
Hughes coming up to serve here. Looks like we have Masters and Heil going to be playing the back row.
So you got Witt back up in the front to set, and a kill attempt there. And that one's going to go a point over to the Cyclones. That would have hurt if she got it over the net. She got all of that one.
She took a full swing at it.
11-10, Cyclones down by 1. Hughes with it, back to the back row, dug out by the Eagles. Deep in the court, Hughes back up in the air with it, up to Heil. Hennard has to just get it over. She does. Number 20 has to play it back up. Hennard now, back to the middle. Heil, back up in the air. Hennard loads, fires, back row. And that one's going the wrong way. This one's going to go out of bounds. And the Cyclones here, back tied up.
So Hennard with a kill on that one, and she is on tonight. I think every single one of her hits has been inbound and has been on target.
Of all the players we have, she is the most consistent player on the JV team. She's night in, night out consistent. Hughes now, beautiful serve, back row, up to number 6. 14, fires across, grazes the top of the net. Heil has to go over, so Masters does get it over. Great play by Masters. And Hennard now, back to Heil, loads up for Hennard again, reaches backcourt. That one out of bounds, didn't see it.
Oh, wow, that did look like it was about 4 inches out.
That was.
Now the refs are talking.
That was 2 feet out of bounds.
The Deland Weldon coach is trying to help with this call.
This needs to be either replayed or just given to Deland, because that was way out of bounds. And they're not going to do it. They're going to keep it with the Cyclones. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Good for us, but
we'll probably see a makeup call here soon.
We will. Hughes with it, back row. There was it, right there. Could have been called.
Yep. That was a double hit.
Yep.
They did not call that one.
13-11 now. Cyclones up by 2. And the coach from Deland is still letting the official hear it, and they know it. I mean, that should have been, if they didn't see it, should have replayed that one. Hughes back row, back corner. That one was out of bounds and does get the call going the way of Deland.
I thought we were going to get another one. They hesitated a little bit to make that call.
Woodman back into the game for Hughes now. 13-12, Cyclones up by 1. So, I mean, yeah, you love to see every call go the team's way and even those miss hits, but this one was 2 foot out of bounds.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious. And you're going to have 1 or 2 of those calls every game.
Yep. Number 11 in to serve. Woodman digs it out, up to Heil. Witt back, just has to get it over. She does. Played nicely in 2 hits, gets it over. Masters back up to Heil. Heil over to Wolf. Wolf puts it down. Dug out by the back row. Back up to the front, tipped over. Witt now backside. Woodman has to get it up in the air, going the wrong way. Masters gets it across. This one's getting sloppy here. Nice block by Wolf. Hit into the face of a Deland Weldon player, and side out back and a point for the Cyclones.
I think they're going to call net on Wolf. Yep. It looked like she did catch the top of the net.
There's your makeup
on her
call.
block. Yeah,
did
there
she?
you go. Yeah, I think she did.
Okay, all right.
She didn't get real excited about the block, which kind of told me that
She
maybe.
do.
Usually if she gets a nice clean block, she will know about it by her face immediately.
13-13 here, set number 2. It's been a slow set number 2. Nice serve, back row. Best serve of the night for the Eagles. Heil with it, up to Hennard. Hennard fires back row. Dug out nicely. 14 does some nice digging back there. Heil again, setting up. Hancock has to reach back for it.
That was Wolf.
Wolf has to reach for it, sorry.
Wolf gets a hand on that one.
This one has to go over, so Hennard gets it. Up to the front row here, tipped over, and a beautiful tip by number 23. She's learning very quickly that Wolf is going to be there pretty much every time, and just tipped it over her hands.
Yeah, and Wolf's right where she needs to be.
Yep.
That was a good play on Deland.
14-13. Eagles now with a 1-point advantage here in set number 2. Number 11, who has the best serves of the team thus far. Woodman up to Heil. Back to Wolf. Wolf now back to the back corner. Going the wrong way. Has to get across. Not going to happen. Dave Hughes almost caught that one. And now we got Carson Whitback to serve. 14-14 here in set number 2.
A good dive would have had it.
Carson, nice serve by Whit. Tipped up, 23 with it. Hits it to the back row. That one inbounds. And a point to Deland.
That was a good dig by Deland because that was a hard hit ball.
Yeah, and smartly they get Carson out of there now. Deland playing a little better in set number 2 here.
Yeah, they are. Here comes our lob serve, underhand.
Woodman now up to Whit. Whit backs at Wolf. Wolf wasn't quite ready for it, so didn't put quite as much mustard on it. This one tipped to the back row. Whit up in the air. Woodman now puts that one right up in the net. What a great play by Lizzie just to get that one over. Back to the middle. Woodman with it. Now up to Whit. Back set to Heil. Heil reaches across. This one, trouble for Deland, has to go over, and it does. Woodman up with it again. Whit putting it back to the middle. And Wolf just swung. I think she was ready for a back set, and she tried to hit that one over, but was facing the wrong direction, and it just didn't end well.
The timing wasn't there again. Hennard had a great hustle hit right at the net to keep that one going, though.
She did. Here we go with Heil. Reaches across the back
There
corner.
it is.
And a great hit by Natalie. What a nice kill by Heil. As she just reached back, and nice cross-court hit there.
Put it in the back right corner where nobody was. The defense was sucked in on that.
16-15. Eagles up by 1 here in set number 2. Hennard back with it. Hennard. Nice serve by her. This one going back up to the front row. Has to get over, and it does. Woodman reaches back to hit that one. And when she does that, that doesn't ever go well.
No, when you're reaching over your head from the back row, it's probably better off just to duck and let that one go.
Yep. Number 20 subbing in here for the Eagles for serving purposes. She had a couple of points here earlier in this set. Back row to the middle. They're letting that one go, but it's on the line, and it's going to be a point over to Deland.
This one's starting to get away from Cornerstone here. We need to tighten it up.
18-15, 3-point Deland lead, and Maris Largent coming into the game now for Eliana Woodman. Number 20 serves back, and Largent's not quite sure. Yeah, the coach was saying, hey, get underneath it with your hands, but it's coming right at her neckline. Serve to the back row again. Masters. There we go. Whit. Now short set down to Wolf, and that's pretty. That one's going to go out of bounds, and that's what we'd love to see all night long here.
Now we're seeing the timing sync up between Whit and Wolf.
Yep. 19-16. 19-16, Deland on top here as Hughes comes back in for Largent. Wolf back to serve. Nice serve by Karras. Back row. Eagles now have to get it over. They do. Tip. Dug out nicely by Masters. Whit up with it. Near side to Masters. Fires back row. What a nice hit. Hennard with it. Back up to Whit. Grace had to backtrack, and the set was just a little long for her.
She was coming inside out, and that was tough to get a good approach on it.
She was cocked and loaded for that one. She got some hops.
She just knew that her approach just wasn't quite syncing up with that set.
Did Amy, did you play volleyball growing up? It's a sad, sad story. We're going to have to hear about this. 2016, Deland up, Masters with it, back corner, and Grace with a beautiful kill, cross court.
Good kill. Good cross court, had some good steam on that one.
Cyclones now trail by 3 here in set 2. Heil back to serve. Nice serve by Natalie, back row. 7's going to get back to the middle. They got to get it across. They do. Witt coming up to Heil, setting up forward. Masters again, reaches back. And a great great placement by Grace. And she's not that tall. You don't expect her to be able to do that.
No, again, it's all about timing.
Yep.
She's getting a little excited.
She is. I see it in her face right now. 2018, Cyclones down by 2. Heil, nice serve, back row. Back, Heil, Kinzinger's got to dig that one up to Heil. Far side here, Witt reaches back corner and out of bounds.
And that was going right for the corner, just went a little long.
Yep. 21-18, Cyclones down by 3. This serve's going to drop in, and yep, I call a timeout here, but we'll see if Coach does it. Little miscommunication. Got to talk a little louder here, girls. 22-18, down by 4 here. Deland Weldon up to Witt. Back to Heil. Going to set up Witt, and that one's right in between of Witt and Hughes, so it just has to get bumped over. Eagles setting up, tip to the back row. Hennard up to Heil. Reaches over for Grace. Grace puts it over. Tipped over again. Here we go. Heil, Masters loads up, fires back row and puts it down. And Grace Masters with another great kill.
She's on a roll here. She's got a few kills here. And she gets to serve.
Takes her out of that front row, though. 22-19, and that one into the net by Grace. 23-19. Cyclones need to do something right here. Deland's playing better in this second set.
Yeah, we're making a few more mistakes than we did in the first one.
We are. Number 14 back to serve for the Eagles. That serve going the back row. Kinzinger up with it. Heil over to Hennard. Hennard fires back row. Dug out nicely. 14 digs nicely in that back row. And not sure.
She took her eye off the ball just for a second, and then she couldn't quite get back on it.
Yep. And Coach going to call a timeout right here. So Deland Weldon with set point coming up with their service. We need 6 in a row. And I think Coach is telling Witt right now that, hey, listen, I don't care if that's one just a little bit outside of your position. If you got it, call it and take it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a little confusion of if she was really supposed to take that ball. She took her eye off the ball just for a little bit. That's all it takes.
Well, this again, it's a thinker's game because normally she's a setter, but in that position right now, she's a hitter when you got Heil up in that front row. And so, she's thinking, okay, if I let the back row get it, maybe I'm doing the setting, but that's right. We got Natalie up there. I can get this up to Heil. So it's a thinker's game. It is.
And she's changing position constantly.
All the time. Yep. So you got Witt, Hughes, and Heil up in front, and Masters, Kinzinger, and Hennard in the back.
Well, let's see some mental toughness here. See if we can
deep
hold
here,
them
guys.
at 24.
Into the net. That's one way to start it. We need 6 more.
1 point at a time.
24-20. And Wolf coming back into the game here for Kinzinger. Standard substitution. You see this in varsity. Now he's got it in JV. The girls just know when they're rotating in.
Yeah, and that's good practice for them.
Hughes, nice serve. Back up to the front. Reaching back, tips it over. Witt with it. This one's going to be trouble. Wolf just gets it over. Deland back to the middle. And that one into the net. And a point over to the Cyclones. So 24-21. To stretch this one out a little bit, the Cyclones need at least 3. They're going to have to get it from Faith Hughes, not just Faith in general. That one out of bounds.
But that works too.
That works too. Hughes, nice serve, and puts the Cyclones within tying this at 2. 24-22. See if Hughes can rattle off 2 more. Nice serve by Hughes. Back row. That one tipped by the hands of the back row.
Yeah. I think she was just trying to protect her head.
Yep, she was. And I saw just her finger just goes like a little bit of a wiggle, and that's all it needed. We need 1 more from Faith here.
And the Eagles leaving the door open here.
They're going to call a timeout, which is a good thing.
It is.
Because
that one went long.
Would have went long and out of bounds. And
so Deland
the eyes of Faith right there, like, glad they called the timeout.
So the Eagles helping us in more ways than one here.
24-23. It's a 1-point ball game, and the Cyclones have it in their hands right now that they get this in play, get the point. We're going to stretch it out to a 2-point victory. It's win by 2 at that point in time. But if they don't get this over or hit it out of bounds or they make a mental mistake on the return, it is the set to Deland. And we do this again. And again, I mean, just being honest, this is not a 3-set team. This is a 2-set game right here.
Cornerstone kind of play into their competition here.
They do, and they have the last couple games, which is okay. They're showing a little more mental toughness tonight. We'll see what Hughes does here. Nice.
Good serve.
Let Deland mess this one up. They're going to get it over back row. Masters with it up front. This one back to Hennard. Hennard fires back row. Dug out nicely up in the air.
Get up.
There we go. And Masters back out to Heil. Shortly back to Wolf and out of bounds.
We're tied up.
We're tied up at 24. 5 in a row by the Cyclones.
That's some mental toughness.
Yep. And nice serving by Faith Hughes.
And we got that one to Hennard on that one. That's who we needed to hit that ball.
Yep.
She's been consistent all night tonight.
Nothing flashy, nothing fancy. Faith with it. Again, nice serve by Hughes. Up into the bleachers. And the Cyclones now with set points. Can they rattle off 7 straight to win this? They were trailing 24-19. It's now 25-24 Cyclones. Hughes with it. Back. Nice serve for Hughes. Playable.
It is.
This is trouble. It's
No.
got to go over. It's
No.
not going to happen. And the Cyclones win behind the service of Faith Hughes.
That's just good mental toughness on Cornerstone's part. To
Yes,
come
it is.
back by that deep when they're at 24, that just sticking to it and doing what you need to do on each point.
And, you know, we're not the most consistent serving team. We've got some consistent servers, but as a whole, we're not that team. And so it was Russian roulette who was going to be back there to do it. And Hughes drew the ticket, and she pulled it out tonight, rattling off 7 straight. So.
And the Eagles coach actually helped us because Hughes hit that serve, and the coach had called timeout. That serve went out of bounds, but the ref said, nope, she called timeout in time.
And
so
the coach had said, I called timeout, but then when she saw it goes out of bounds, she was like, so is it out of bounds?
And that would have been game right there.
That would have been it. Yep. That would have been the game. 26-24, Cyclones win set number 2 after winning by 7 in set number 1. So a 2-set victory here for the JV squad. And we got Varsity coming up here in just a couple minutes. And we're going to take a quick break and be back with rosters and talk a little bit about the Varsity game. And Amy is going to tell us her horror story of volleyball.
Amy is going to tell us a story.
She is. She's got a story for us. She said it's not a fun one, but.
You want us to tell it now?
Yeah, we're going to tell it now.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
So I grew up going to Tri-Valley, and I was on the volleyball team in 7th and 8th grade. I was the worst kid on the team. Like, I only got in when the score was like, you were winning by 15 points, and it was like 24 to something. I would get in for just a point or two, but that was okay. So I was still going to play in high school, and I go to 9th grade the first day and find out that the volleyball team had already been practicing
all summer
for 2 weeks, and nobody called me. So that was the end of my volleyball career.
And you've carried that with you for the rest of your life.
It's very sad.
So, did you play volleyball or something?
I did not play volleyball.
All right.
I was a wrestler.
So where did Grace get her? I mean,
She's got jumps.
she's got talent.
Yeah.
Oh, lot of fun to watch. And I was telling somebody the other night that these weeks are long nights and long weeks, and I know the girls feel it just as much as the parents do. Parents probably feel it more the older we get, but we get such a short window to enjoy this with these girls. So it's a lot of fun.
It is
to watch them succeed. And tonight, some of the plays Grace was able to make, and some of the other girls that pulled out a victory here to even the team now at 500 on the season. That feels good. I know it was a victory that came against a team that is not like the competition we've played throughout the season, but still a win is a win.
Yeah.
And it's good for the girls' confidence.
Win is a win, and from here on out, we're going to be playing competition that we're used to playing. Those last 3 games, or the first 3 games of the season, were just tough teams. So, I mean, now we have an opportunity to really show what we learned in those first 3 games, and I think it's showing now.
So you got unlucky. You shouldn't have come up to your dad right there because I grabbed you and pulled you. So we're here with Faith Hughes. So Faith, you guys had some errors during that second set. You guys found yourself down 24-19. You knew that if your serves weren't in, you guys go to set 3, and you rattled off 7 straight.
Yep.
What did it?
That's
how'd
clutch.
you feel?
I mean, that's ice
awesome.
in your
That's
veins.
awesome.
Scary, because a lot of them were going to go out, and then someone touched it at the last second.
And then the coach called the timeout, and right as you served, and it did go out, and I saw your eyes. You looked over at coach, and your eyes were like wide, like I'm so glad she called the timeout.
Yeah, that was perfect timing.
So were the girls excited back in the locker room to get the win tonight?
Yeah, they were excited.
Fantastic. Well, you guys played really well, and it was a lot of fun watching you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Faith Hughes, our hero of the game.
The clutch player of the game.
The clutch player of the game tonight. Varsity coming out on the court. And I think we got about another 6 minutes of warm-ups. Or 12, one of the two. And Jeremy and I will be back with you here in a few minutes.
Time to get popcorn.
Or burger. So good evening once again, and welcome back to round 2 of the evening. Cornerstone Varsity taking on the varsity squad from Deland Weldon, and Dan Kinsinger alongside Jeremy Masters. And Jeremy, we saw the JV team come out tonight, get another victory on the season, even their squad at 3-3. And but the one thing we did watch is that our team, which can be very good, tends to play at the level of our competition and not really asserting ourselves as I think we're capable of doing. I think that's something that definitely the varsity needs to do tonight.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll see it as much from the varsity tonight. I think this varsity game, I think you're going to see a lot more substitutions. Based on what the Eagles team looks like, there's a lot of JV players that are playing varsity.
I saw that too.
Their depth is not there. And the other thing I noticed is this is a different Deland Weldon team in that this is not the same coach. They've had a reset here, it looks like to me. They used to have a pretty good program. Like I say, 2 years ago they had a D1 recruit here, and she was remarkable. And so there's a little different feel here tonight. You can kind of expect from Deland that they normally are very competitive with volleyball, but I don't see that happening tonight.
And, you know, I maybe see 1, 2, maybe 3 students coming to support. And I only point that out is because, you know, when we play a school like Leroy, they brought half that student body with them to cheer for them. And there's a fire behind those teams that, you know, that are making a name for themselves and that are incredibly successful. And I don't see that same student body that we've got here tonight. So I think this is I say all that because I think this is a great night for Cornerstone to just do the fundamentals well. And we don't have to try to do anything crazy. We don't have to try to, you know, overhits or anything like that. Just go out and do what you do and do it solidly, and I think they're going to see something remarkable happen.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, this is a good opportunity for them just like on their serves, let's just put a safe serve over the net and get good at getting that serve in, because that is so critical. When you're on a run and you hit a serve out of bounds, that just kills any momentum that you have. And so we need to be able to correct that.
So the JV team is a team that is notorious for hurting themselves, and they make a lot of small mental errors, and we saw that not so much in the first set, but in the second set, where it wasn't really Deland Weldon asserting themselves on us. It was us hurting ourselves, and we weren't making the passing that we needed to. Had a lot of balls that were hit out of bounds, and so we were giving away a lot of points. If we can curb that as a varsity squad, this is a varsity squad that could come in here and walk away very quickly in 2 sets.
Yeah, the first set should be very quick. I would say that the second set you'll see a lot more substitutions, but that first set has to go the way we're talking, and that's got to be make very few mistakes.
So I see Lizzie Hennard has moved up to play both JV and varsity. She's wearing a varsity jersey tonight. That'll be the first time that Lizzie has gotten the promotion up to varsity squad. So now there are 4 girls from the JV squad that play on both teams, and that also goes to. So we've got some talented freshmen, we know that, and there's plenty of girls in the upper class that could fill these spots. But what coach is trying to do is, hey, he's going to take some of those talented freshmen that are down there and bring them up and make those sophomores and juniors and seniors earn their spot. And I think what he's trying to say, and rightly so, is that I don't care if you're a freshman or you're a senior, I'm going to put the 6 players out there at any point in given time that I think are going to be the best players. I don't care about your age, don't care about how long you've played, and he does that very well, and that's a good motivational thing for the rest of the team.
Well, and that keeps everybody on their toes. I mean, you have to play at your top level because you know there's somebody waiting to take your spot, and that's just the way it goes. And so that should help these girls not play down to their competition because they're used to playing in practice against a solid team. Especially like you're saying with that freshman team, they're playing against a good team in practice.
Yes, they are. So that gives our varsity roster, I'm trying to count here in our head, so we've got 13 that are dressed out there tonight. And I'll quickly go down the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 13 on the roster. Okay, Jenini's out there in the libero jersey, which matches the JV jersey, so I didn't count her. So we've got 14 players out there, so everybody's here tonight. I'll run down that roster real quick. Number 4 out there tonight is Alexis Hitteman. 5, Anna Hancock. 6, Kate Hancock. 7, Laura Unruh. 8, Adrian Gary. 9, Haley Webb. 10, Carson Witt. 28, Olivia Hitteman. 12, Callista Hammer. 13, Grace Masters. 14, Jenini Damarajan. 15, Olivia Smith. And 16 is Jess Halverson. And I was talking to, I brought some girls down for the JV game tonight, and Jeremy, I was talking to the girls and just telling her how impressed that I am by Jenini and the way that she plays that back row. And she's kind of the unsung, always solid, always there. You can stick her in the back row, and if it's hit to her, she's gonna bring it up. She's not gonna be the one that makes the mistake.
No, that's an accurate description. And when you were kind of thinking she was on the JV, we don't want to go to battle without Jenini because she's just solid back there. Whether she's digging, serve receives, or passing, she actually Tuesday night she actually put one back over with a kick.
Yeah, and that was the first time I've ever seen that happen.
It was pretty impressive.
That was awesome. So they're going to announce the starting lineup here. Olivia Hitteman getting her name called, and then Anna Hancock coming out as well. Lauren Unruh coming out for announcements, and we got Haley Webb, Olivia Smith, Adrian Gary, and I got it better than you, dude. Damarajan coming out for the libero position. So she did not, number 3 was not a JV player. Number 20 was a JV player.
Yeah.
Number 18 was a JV player. Number 6 was not a JV player, was she?
I think she was.
Okay.
I think she's their underhander that was sneaking them over on us.
And number 23 was a JV player. So at least half of them, if not over half of them, were JV players. And it was the most solid of the JV squad that they had out there. But they're also starting varsity. They're not just moved up to play on varsity. They've now been called on to start varsity.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see how this one starts off.
So we'll see Jenini come right into the game here for the Cyclones, as she typically does. So Olivia Smith will go out there, and Jenini will walk right up to the sideline and sub in. They're going to do the step forward 4 paces and wave and just get into, it didn't even happen. I don't even know why we do this. It's very frustrating.
It's very awkward.
Very, very awkward.
We'll see who Jenini goes in for. I think she typically goes in for Olivia Smith right off the bat.
And no, I did not see the chat. Is that Panda, Miss Kinzinger? Apparently my son decided to say hello in the chat, and I'm guessing he's Panda somebody there.
Okay.
All right.
So got the kids chiming in?
Apparently so.
We have 18 viewers.
Yeah.
Big crowd here at home.
Packed in tonight. It's 18 viewers, though, but, there's at each location, there's at least 30 watching.
So we got Olivia Hitteman going to start this one off. Jenini Damarajan in the back row, as well as Haley Webb.
Nice serve by Hitteman. That one going to go right out of bounds, and Again, Cornerstone, neither team starts incredibly well. That's just the way it is. So they're going to trail early here, 1-0. Deland Weldon, serve back, dug out by Jenny. Up to the front row to Hitteman. Back is Webb. Webb reaches across and puts that one down.
That was Gary on that kill.
Adrian Gary, excuse me. And Anna Hancock back to serve now as Webb comes out of the game for Jess Halverson. Anna Hancock back to serve. Anna so solid back serving, and it just dives off, goes right to the back row. Nice serve by Anna.
Yeah, she is a very consistent server. I wouldn't be surprised if she does end up moving up to our first server. You want to have your most consistent server serving first. Try to jump out to an early lead.
Hancock again, back row, and Deland's going to struggle with that. Cornerstone up 2-1. This one fired to the back corner, out of bounds. And Anna Hancock again, and she's one of those that can go on a roll because of her consistency.
Yeah. And she's hitting it hard here recently.
Yeah, that one going out of bounds right at the scorer's table.
And Deland's going to have trouble stopping her.
4-1 the lead now. Cyclones up by 3 early on. And Deland just wants to get one up in the air up to the front row here to return. Hancock, that one into the net. And I would have liked to see 5 or 6 more out of her.
Yeah, and that's how you stop a rally. I don't think Deland was going to stop her.
Nope. Stopped herself there. Callista Hammer now in for Cyclones. Great job by Anna Hancock. 4-2. Cyclones up by 2. This serve digs out. There's Damarajan. Beautiful.
Yeah, the timing was right there.
Lauren Unruh just. It was just that one was played perfectly, and it started out with Damarajan. And she had to run forward, down low, and still hit it up perfectly for the front row.
That pass is so key, and there's an ace from Lauren Unruh. Yeah, that pass is so key to get that to the setter, and the timing was perfect with Lauren going up after that one.
6-2 now. Varsity leads by 4. Unruh, back row, fires the back row again. That one's out of bounds, and she can go on a roll here, too.
They're not going to stop that if she keeps serving like that. So two aces in a row.
She's got that unique double hop serve that messes with you if you're on the receiving end. 7-2. Cyclones up by 5. Unruh back to serve again. This one near side. Back to the far side. Reaches over. Dug out nicely by Unruh. Hammer up in the air. This one over by Jess Halverson. Played nicely here. Tipped over. 15 reaches back. And again, she loaded up like she was going to hit it, but just kind of tipped it over the blocker's hands and put it down. So we got another side out here.
Yeah, she just didn't get her whole hand on it. She wanted it, but.
Damarajan back into the game for Unruh, giving her scheduled breather here.
So we have Damarajan, Hammer, and Halverson on the back row for the serve receive. That's
long serve. That one out of bounds, and so we'll get it right back. Not a whole lot of volley action here early on.
No serve receive needed on that one.
8-3, 5-point Cyclone lead, and Adrian Gary back to serve for Cornerstone. Gary, back row. Again, the serves are looking good for the Cyclones. Tipped over. Nice read by Hitteman. Up in the air. Gary just has to get it over. She does. Set up far side, number 15. Again with a great little tip, and Hitteman went up for the block. And that one went off her hands and out of bounds, so side out back to Deland.
Yeah, Hitteman was in position, good position on that one, just wasn't able to get her hands up over the net quite enough.
My mother-in-law's talking to me.
Oh, boy.
She's one of our 18 viewers.
There's a kill from Olivia Hitteman.
9-4. Cyclones up by 5 now. Hammer out of the game. In is Anna Hancock. Halverson back to serve. Jess, nice serve. Right up to the net. This one tipped under the net, and a point to the Cyclones. And Jess's serve is real unique because it doesn't have a whole lot of steam behind it, but it just dives right over the end of the net. And it just a perfect little arch.
Yeah.
And dives right to the middle. Nobody there, and they're struggling to get that because that ball is going in the location that it is. So couple of nice hits here by Jess, 11-4. Cyclones up by 7, and Deland's going to call a timeout.
And you talk about another player that's hitting her groove right now, and that's Jess Halverson, especially on that outside hit. Last game especially, she was hitting very well from the outside.
And she targets that opposite corner so well. So it's cross court, but it's going back to the back corner, and she can aim it and hit it.
She puts a mean angle on her hit, and that makes a huge difference.
Cyclones up by 7 here in set number 1, 11-4. And to the mother-in-law, it's not $10, it's ribeyes. That's the deal. By calling Dennis out, it's ribeyes, not $10. Just FYI.
Food over money.
Absolutely. Wouldn't you take a pack of ribeyes over $10?
Beef, it's
Absolutely.
what's for dinner.
Jess Halverson back to serve now. 11-4 once again, 7-point Cyclone lead. Halverson back corner, tipped up to the front. Nobody's there, and that one.
Another good flat serve on that one.
Yeah, and Jess is positioning it well. She's spreading it all out the court, so she's not hitting to the same person. Another serve by Jess. Cross court. This one back to the far corner. They are going to try to get this across. They do. Up in the air by Hitteman. Back to Hitteman. Fires cross court. Just easily getting it over. Corner dug out nicely by Halverson. Hitteman just fires to the back row. We'd love to get a pass up to the setter here. Tip to the back row. Damarajan. Here we go. Quick over to Olivia Smith, who is right on the line. And Olivia Smith with a nice kill there to the back row.
Yeah, she went to the back left. It wasn't a hard hit, but she knew where it needed to go, and that works.
13-4. Halverson stretching it out here a bit. This one into the net, though. And a side out. I would have loved to see how long she could keep rolling. Adrian Gary back into the game, giving Jess just a breather here.
Yeah, I think Jess's arm was starting to get tired back there. I think she went 6 in a row.
7 in a row.
7 in a row.
13-5. Cyclones up by 8. Back row, Damarajan. Up to Gary. Gary, far side. Anna Hancock, who can hit it as well. Up to the net. Just have to get it across. They do. What a great block by Olivia Smith. Far side, reaches back, fires back row. Damarajan with it. Now up to Gary. Gary sets it across the net. Damarajan back up in the air. Olivia Smith, far side to Hitteman. Hitteman to the back row. Back up in the air, number 20. Fires long, let it go out of bounds, ladies. And a point, side out, back to the Cyclones.
And that pass from Damarajan is so key. She gets it high enough that that setter has so much time to get under it. And that's such a key to set that to that hitter has plenty of time to get her approach ready. And the timing is perfect on that.
And she can do it from any depth, and it doesn't go into the net. She knows where she's at. It's like a great golf swing. You just know where you're at and know how hard to hit it.
And
nice
she
serve.
Smokes the serve.
Reaching back row and played nicely by Gary. Up in the air. Anna Hancock has to get it over backwards, and that one not quite over the net. Hitteman let it fall there in front of the net. Side out back to the Eagles. 14-6, 8-point lead. Eagles back to serve here. Long reach. Damarajan, again, perfect.
Right on the money.
Hitteman fires cross court.
Great
Beautiful.
Hit. There is a kill for
Olivia Hitteman.
Olivia.
And actually probably would have gone out of bounds, but it was hit so hard that they have to make a choice, and they had a shorter amount of time to make that choice. Nice serve there. Dug out of bounds, and Olivia Hitteman now. Couple nice plays in a row for the Cyclones. 16-6. Watch this. This is going to be a short serve.
She likes to mix it up.
I think Coach was over there talking to her. Nope, not this time.
She drills it.
Back row, Damarajan, just beautiful. Up to Hitteman. Far side, Anna Hancock reaches back. Played by the Eagles. They got to get across. They do. Anna Hancock up in the air. Damarajan back to Hancock. Fires cross court. Dug out. Number 20 reaches back, puts it into the net, and Hitteman gets to continue back here. He said something to her. I'm interested to see if she's going to do it, and I wonder if he's talking to him right now.
Yeah. Well, I was expecting it too, but she drilled that serve.
She did. Nope, hits it this one again. That one hit so hard it's going out of bounds. 18-6 now. Cyclones up.
I think he's telling her where to hit it because she's hitting it to deep center back row.
Yeah, and that's the libero. You'd think that this would not be the person to hit to.
No. Well, that
Far
went
side.
right.
Yep.
That was going to go out. Yeah.
Got to go across. That one's going to be close. And that one, again, the net was not our friend on that one as it just grazes the top.
No, unfortunately, that one ricocheted off the top of the net, and that's just tough to play off.
It is. 18-7, Cyclones up by 11. Number 3 back to serve. First time we've seen her serve. And she's got a nice solid serve. Back row, Damarajan.
Right
up
on
to
the
hit him
money.
in. And Unruh just kind of tips it over. I'd love to see her just slam it down. Unruh tips it up in the air. Hit him in. This one's got to go across. Damarajan. What a nice hit by her from the back row.
Yeah.
Up to the front. Unruh. Hit him in. Tips it over. They've got to get it across. They do. Dug out. Anna Hancock back into play.
What a save by Anna.
Gets it over. Great teamwork. Back row. Damarajan again. Hit him in. Far side. Anna Hancock just has to tip it. And just a little bit out of reach as she was closing in on the net. So a point back over to the Eagles.
So a little scramble needed on Cornerstone's side, and they pulled it out for a little bit.
Number 3 back to serve. Damarajan just solid. Hit him and tips it over. Eagles back to the back row. Up in the air. Far side is Gary, and Gary reached back, and that one was out of bounds by about 7 feet as she was just trying to hit it cross court.
Yeah, Haley Webb had a great pass on that one. The set was good.
Back row, Hancock up to Hitteman. Short, quick, and a nice save there by Lauren Unruh.
Yeah, she had to reach back on that one just to keep it from getting away from her.
If that would have been a short set, it would have been trouble for the other team, but Lauren did a nice job saving that. Anna Hancock back to serve, but it looks like we're going to give the service to Callista Hammer. (19-9), 10-point Cyclone lead. Nice little easy serve by Hammer. Up in the air, 18 tips it across. This one's going to be trouble. Damarajan back with it. Hit him and just had to get it across, and that one was short. But again,
amazing.
This is Jenny running back to the back and puts this in play.
One-handed.
Yeah, one-handed.
She put it right in the middle of the court, which is where it needed to go.
Yep. 9-point Cyclone lead here, 19-10. Set number 1. Number 19 back to serve for the Eagles. Serve into the net and side out to the Cyclones, 20-10. Did you ever go to any volleyball games where it wasn't speed scoring like this, where every point or every serve was a point? Because in high school, for us in varsity, it wasn't like this.
Yeah, it wasn't rally scoring when I was in high school. And the volleyball games would take forever.
Oh, I know. How would you like to call one of those?
No.
Smith with it, up in the air, hit him in with it, back to Unruh. And Unruh puts this one out of bounds, so side out back to the Eagles.
I'm with you. We need just a monster hit from Unruh, just to liven this thing up.
I just love to see it. I just love to see it. It's so much fun to watch.
And she's going to come out. Unruh out. And Alexis Hitteman coming in.
18 back row. That one's on the
right
line.
on the line.
And an ace for number 18 back there. (2012) 8-point Cyclone lead here. Set number 1. Number 18 serves cross court. That one out of bounds, and a great call there by Alexis just to let that one float on by. 21-12, back to a 9-point advantage, and looks like Adrian Gary will be back to serve for the Cyclones. Gary, nice serve, back row. Libero gets it, just has to be tipped across. That one out of bounds outside of the marker. 22-12.
Alexis Hitteman And Callista Hammer back in the back row with Gary.
Playable here for the Eagles. Fired to the back row. Alexis, nice pass up to Gary. Front row, back to her sister. Tipped over, back to the middle, dug out by Hammer. Back up to Gary. Gary, Smith, down.
There we go.
Olivia Smith saw a hole, put it there. 23-12.
Get a little bit of excitement going with Smith putting that one down.
She's so much fun to watch. I love watching Olivia. Back row, up to the front now, number 3. Back to the middle, has to get it across. Dug out nicely by Gary. Callista Hammer, a little discussion, and I think that Callista's got to take that. She's just got to step right up and take that.
Yeah, needed talk there. Yeah, Smith can get excited, but she really gets excited when she's blocking the ball.
She does, and she does it incredibly well. 23-13, 10-point Cyclone lead. Set number 1. This one going right on the line. Gary hit him in, taps it over. Could have been called 2 right there. Back row, hit him in. Up to Gary, and Olivia Smith. Nice, strong hit there. 15, back row, could have left it go. And Hammer puts her arm up, and that one goes off her hand. And it'll be a side out back to the Eagles.
Nothing hurt there. We're 23-14.
Yep. Serve that one up to Hitteman. Over to Smith, and Smith, again, it was just a timing issue. Just a timing issue right there.
Yeah. She had a good approach to the ball, and, I think the timing in the air just got a little mixed up.
Awkward serve. Back up front row. Hitteman. Quickly over to Gary. Gary backwards over to Jess Halverson. Puts it down. That one goes into the net. And nothing hard or fancy there by Jess. Just keep it in play, and I think that's what Coach is saying.
And her strong side is the close side normally, so I'm not used to seeing her hit from that right side.
Halverson, nice serve, back up to the front of the net. This one's going to be in trouble, and it is. It's down, and that's a set number 1 victory for the Cyclone varsity squad. So, the varsity squad came out and played well. Again, started slow, like Cornerstone does. We have done that this year. But all in all, played a solid first set.
Yeah, I think they did okay. I think that's what Coach is working on, is to come out to a quicker start. And in these tournaments, that's what they're going to have to do. And they played okay on that one. I didn't see any time where they got into their rhythm, and that's what they need to do. So hopefully on the second set they can come out quick, get into a rhythm, and then get some substitutions in there.
So Deland Weldon on the other side had some nice serves, and the thing that Deland does well is they dig the ball out real well. They at least give their setters a chance. Their setters, they don't have the skill level that our front row does up here, but their libero she's returning stuff, and there's some hard serves coming her way.
Yeah, this varsity team from Deland is definitely doing a better job digging those serves out, because we're putting some hard ones at them, and they're getting some of them back over to us. I'd like to see them get even more back to us, because we need to get some good volleys to be able to get into a rhythm. That's just what it takes.
And I think that's what really gets our team going, is when they put together 1 or 2 volleys at the beginning of the set, and everything just kind of seems to click.
Mm-hmm. That's the only way to get your timing down, is just the consistency. Damarajan's doing a great job getting that pass up to the setter. Now we just need the timing between the setter and our hitters to sync up.
I've been really impressed with how Adrian Gary, after missing a couple of games early on, has stepped in and kind of found her groove. And it took her a game at the beginning, but has been able to step in now, and now is a vital role of that rotation.
Yeah, she missed out a little bit on the first part of the season. She had to sit out for, I don't know, if it was a game or 2 or what it was. But
it was just 1 game, I think.
Yeah. That takes you out of the mix just enough that it took her a little bit to get back into sync, and now she's synced up. And I'd like to see them put a few good series together here.
So Coach was letting the rotation play out a little differently than it normally does, letting some of the position players move up to the front row and stay up in the front row. So it'll be interesting to see here what he does in the second set. I think we'll see most everybody that dresses varsity play here in this second set. At least I would think so.
I would think so. I think the key is let's jump out to a quick lead. Let's get some good practice doing that.
So
got some back slapping going on.
I'm looking at the back slapping that was just happening back there, and Damarajan goes over to Unruh and just totally nails her in the back.
Gonna jump start her here.
They'll watch that one back tonight. All right, here we go. Set number 2, all knotted up at 0.
So the girls look like they're having fun, and hopefully that equals into some nice, consistent play.
So up in the front row, well, nope, she's going back to the back row. So we've got Anna Hancock, Unruh, and Gary up front. Damarajan coming back in for Smith. And you've got Hitteman out on the far side, Olivia, and Kaylee Webb on the near side in the back row. Don't quite still know what we're waiting on here. Everybody's just standing. I need to learn this. I'm going to ask an official one of these nights, what takes 6.5 minutes between sets that you stare at? What is it?
It looks like they're reading what ice cream they want when the game's over. I don't know. What kind of sundae do you want? What?
Now you're making me hungry. All right, here we go. Eagles back to serve. Back row. Dug out by Damarajan. Hitteman. Now up to Unruh. Loads back. Fires. Dug out nicely by the back row. Fires to the back row. That one would have been on the – that would have been close. Would have been close.
I think that was the right call for Haley to try to get that one.
Yep, you got to go for the close ones. Unless you know for sure, you got to go for it. So nice call by Haley. 1-0. Eagles up by 1 here in set number 2. Serve up in the air, long back row. Webb digs it out to the front. Hitteman, difficult. Unruh reaches back, hits it across. Dug out by the Eagles. Back up front, hit across. Webb with it. Back up to Hitteman. Going to be a nice set. Short set. Oh, and she just missed it. She just missed it.
Got behind it. I wanted to see that one go down.
That was timed out perfectly. 2-0. Eagles maintain possession here. She wants it back. I know she does.
Yeah, she does.
Back row, Damarajan. Here we go again. Hitteman, far side. Reaches back is Gary, and that one would have been very close as well, but a great hit by Adrian.
Yeah, that one grazed the top of the net. She had some good speed on it, so they had to decide whether to go for it or not, and they went for it and couldn't put it up in the air.
Halverson and Hammer now into the game for the Cyclones. Hammer back to serve. Interesting how they took Anna out of her service here.
Yeah, that's unusual. Anna, very consistent server.
Up to the front row, has to get over for Deland. It does, and they wisely let it go out of bounds. And we're knotted up at 2 here.
Give some serves here to Hammer.
Callista, nice serve, just tipped up in the air, and that was, nobody was expecting that. And going to stay with the Cyclones, now up by 1. Thanks for helping the ball there, ladies. You guys got to get the ball. Back corner. Quiet gymnasium. We have not had a quiet gymnasium like this.
This might be the quietest one I've been in.
Nice serve by Hammer. Back row, dug out by the libero. Up to the net now. Back set, reaches, fires, cross court. Nicely played up in the air. Unruh just has to get it over. Does. Nice position by Unruh. Libero's got to get it back. Damarajan up to Hitteman. Far side, and Jess Halverson just with a tip. And that, why don't you just give it to Lauren right there and just let her cream it?
I was hoping that was going to Lauren, and she was going to put that one down.
3-3 side out back to the Eagles here. Number 20 reaches back long, deep. That one out of bounds. And Damarajan, great eye to let that one go. And we're going to see Olivia Smith come back into the game here for Unruh. Damarajan back to serve. Jenny, nice serve. Libero up to the front, tipped over, dug out, great. Hammer, Halverson back, reaches for it. Nice save there by their libero. Up to the front, hit, block. Olivia Smith with it with 11 hits in a matter of seconds.
That's a good reaction from Olivia to try to dig it back out.
Hey,
but
she did fantastic.
Yeah, just wasn't able to get it up to where somebody else could get a hand on it. So she hit it 3 times.
Eagles now tied it up 4-4. Libero back to serve for Deland. Nice serve, back to the middle, dug out by Hammer. Up to Halverson, over to Smith. Smith just has to tap it over. Playable up to the front, hit, back row. Hammer with it, hit him in. Near side, Gary fires over. There's one where the net becomes our friend.
Yeah, absolutely. She had enough top spin on that. It ended up going over. That was a good hit from Gary.
Here comes the 2 freshman phenoms, Witt and Hancock, the younger of the 2 Hancocks. Witt back to serve for the Cyclones. They're now up 5-4. Set number 2. Witt can put a few together here, and a nice serve by Carson.
And this is her first time in on varsity.
Yeah, it is.
This game.
And Carson is just an incredible athlete. There's tons of natural ability, and she works hard at it, sculpting her craft. And it's a ton of fun to watch somebody who's got a lot of athletic ability.
Yeah, and she's a utility player. She can play anywhere on the court.
Yep.
And do it well.
Damarajan up to Witt. Witt now forward up to Halverson. Reaches back row and just wanted that one back as she slaps her thighs and says, I knew that right when I hit it.
Yep, she got behind it. She need to get on top of it just a little bit more.
6-5. Cyclones up by 1. Number 6 back to serve, and that's that awkward serve. This one just going to drop off. Hancock with it, up to Witt. Has to get over. Nice save by Olivia Smith. Up to number 23. Reaches, fires, dug out by Hammer. Witt, back set. Hancock loads, fires, out of bounds. And a point to the Cyclones. Side out, back to the green.
That one worked. Good combo between Witt and Hancock.
Halverson takes a breather as Haley Webb comes back into the game. And Anna Hancock back in for Callista. Hang on.
Substitution. Net ref didn't see the substitution coming in. He whistled it to come on over.
Now, I believe if that happens and they haven't blown the whistle, I think that's a point and a side out back to the other team, isn't it?
Yeah, if he wouldn't have blown the whistle, it would have been a point for the other team.
Webb, nice serve.
Oh, great serve from Webb.
Anna Hancock up to Witt. Short set, Livia Smith, back row, playable. Going the wrong way. That's going to be trouble and out of bounds. And a great save there by Olivia Smith just to get that one over.
Yeah, and she put it deep in the court, which is where you want to put it whenever you're scrambling like that. Takes them longer to get it back.
Back row, nice play by Webb. 3 have to get it over. Here they go. Damarajan, Witt,
put
short
it down.
set, Olivia Smith, that one up in the air. Back to Anna Hancock. Cyclones playing really well right now. Anna Hancock reaches, hits the top of the net, and another one. It can go both ways, and this one it went the way of the Cyclones, 9-5.
That was a good hit from Anna. Hit the top of the net, which actually is a good hit for anybody. If you can hit the top of the net and get some spin off of it.
Back row and
little
again,
mix up.
Yep, and that's just that's Witt learning that Damarajan can cover all of that area right there.
That is her territory. We want that ball to go to Damarajan back there.
She's the best passer we have. Deland going back to serve now. They're down by 3, 9-6.
Webb, Damarajan, and Hancock in the back row for serve receive.
This one's going to Damarajan. They haven't learned not to yet. Webb, near side, Anna Hancock, out of bounds.
That was a good hit.
And
but
that
it did
one
go out.
Did they call it out of bounds? No, they called it. They called it for us.
Okay.
All right.
He must have caught the line. He had a good look at it over
yeah,
there.
I thought the net misdirected it enough to pitch it out of bounds.
She drilled that one.
She did. Olivia Smith back to serve. Now up by 4 at 10-6. Front row for the Eagles. Reaches back 21.
Hey,
Great
block.
block by Unruh. Witt now. Back set to Hancock. The other Hancock fires across the net. Little tip here. Dug out by Anna.
Here we go.
Lauren Unruh just tips beautifully. And Witt digs it back out. Olivia Smith. Far side Kate Hancock. Reaches across court. Returned nicely by the Eagles. Back to the middle. Olivia Smith up to Witt. Far set. Reaches back as Webb, and that didn't go the way that
No.
Witt wanted it to.
That's not the set we needed on that. That was a good series, though. We had a good back-and-forth volley. I wanted to see that one come up to the front to Unruh or Hancock and just unload.
Yep. 7-10. Eagles down by 3. Up in the air. Kate Hancock. Back to Webb. Has to go across. Witt. She does that so well. I mean, you would think that most players would just bump that across. She angled her bump so it just grazes the top of the net and causes as much difficulty as possible for the other team.
That's a great bump. It actually comes over the net as a hit, almost like a spike. So, yeah, she just had some good top spin to it, and it drove straight down.
And that's just pure natural ability. That's what that is. I mean, you don't practice that. That is just what she does.
It's hard to teach that.
Hitteman back to serve. And this one's got to go across. It does. And Adrian Gary reaches up to try to block that one, and just a stutter step there. And so the Eagles will get a point. They're still down by 3 at 11-8. Cyclones leading all the way through thus far. That one just grazed the net. Dug out nicely by Gary. Hitteman with it. Now Unruh just has to tap it across. Front row. Eagles reach with it. 3 hits, but they were all 3 going the wrong direction, and Coach Morin wanted to get in and play, but he can't. He's old. Not allowed.
We'll see if they hit this one to Damarajan again.
2-point Cyclone lead here. Damarajan, it is. Hitteman, near side, Unruh, and again, man, I just want to see her up in the net. Hit some. Nice jump attempt there, dug out nicely by Webb. Hitteman now. And Damarajan fires
from the back
corner.
row.
And, you know, she does it all. She does it all, and she's so consistent.
That's a great hit from the back row.
She knew not to jump, but she wanted to get as much momentum as possible. Great job.
Again, we're seeing that the pass is good. We just need that set to be up at the net so we can get up and put it down. So struggling a little bit with the setting.
12-10. Cyclone still up by 2. Back to the Eagles, though. Awkward serve. And that makes it tough for us to return.
Yeah, that puts the front row in play on the first hit, and then we're not used to that.
That one placed nicely by number 10 or 13, 18, I guess it is, from the other team.
And the Eagles climbing back in this.
Yeah, 12-11, and it's not played so far like a close game, but they're right there. Serve to the back row. Hammer up to Hitteman. Back set to Gary. Gary off the side of a blocker and down for a point and a side out.
That was a good series there. Good setup from Hitteman to Adrian Gary, and she put a good hit on it.
Olivia Smith back up to the front row. Unruh gets a breather. Damarajan back to serve. And here we go with the official talking to the bench. Are we talking rotation? I don't think she knows what she's talking about right now. So her whistle is up in her mask, but yet she's having a conversation. How does that happen? Does she magically, with her lips, turn that whistle into her mouth? Because it's inside of her mask. I don't know how she did it. That was amazing. Damarajan back to serve. Fires back row. Dug out nicely. Up in the net. That's going to be trouble. Nice block by Smith. Played by the Eagles. This one grazes the top of the net. Dug out. Over to Hitteman. Far side. Halverson reaches. Fires. Dug out. Played again by the Eagles. Back row. Up in the air. Damarajan. Far side. Gary. Cross court. Down and on the line. And
close. It was close. I think that one was out by a couple inches.
She pointed in.
Did she?
She did.
Okay, so the refs weren't able to commensurate on that one.
13-12. What we think doesn't matter. Back row. Halverson, far side. This one's got to go to Hammer. Back to the back corner. Played nicely, and Gary was right there to jump up with it. Damarajan, far set. Gary reaches back, and Gary out of position for that one. And I just saw her timing wasn't there either.
Yeah, she didn't get a good approach on that. And then the ball dropped below the net. That's hard to bring that one back.
All tied up at 13. Hammer. Hit him in. Halverson
There we
down.
go.
There we go. Up in the air, girls. Block that one, and that's 4 hits. 6 hits. I think he was holding up 6.
Great hit from Halverson on that one.
Witt's coming back into the game now for Gary. Giving Adrian a break here. Carson, see if we can't lock her in on some serves here. 14-10, Cyclones up, or excuse me, 14-13. Cyclones up by 1. Nice serve by Witt. Going the wrong direction. Going to be trouble, and it is. And Witt with an unconventional ace there.
Well, it seems like Witt just served not long ago. How'd she get back around so quick?
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Very, very sneaky.
Subbed in for somebody else.
Her mom's doing the rotation tracking down there.
Yeah.
Carson with another nice serve. This one gets over on a lucky tap. Witt, back set. Hit him in. Fires across court, but this one out of bounds. And I think there was a rotation issue there that Morin is pointing out to the girls. But regardless, it's a side out. 15-14. Cyclones up by 1 here in set number 2. They've already won the first set. Smith with it. Up to Witt. Forward. This one just reaches across. Hitteman does to get it over the net. Back row. She jumped. Can't do that. Up to the front. Halverson. That one was going to go right on the line. Played to the back row, dug out again by Hammer. Witt, forward set, Halverson. And Halverson had to stop and take a step back.
Yeah, she needed to come outside on that one. The set actually was a good set.
It
she
was.
Just wasn't quite set up where she needed to be.
15 all. Should not be this close. Up in the air, hit him in, Witt.
Now we got traffic.
Yep. Hit him and does get it across. Dug out by Deland. That one up in the air. Great save by Carson. Back row hit him in. Just again tapping it across and nobody there in that one. Hey, that was a great tip. She saw it. Just reached over and put it there.
Now the Eagles take the lead. First time this set.
Grace Masters coming in for the first time tonight. Pulling up.
Pulling up. She's getting ready quick.
And it's the Magic Whistler that is up there. Switching them out. Jess Halverson getting a break here.
Grace has to pull her knee pads up so quick. She wasn't quite ready for that.
16-15. Eagles now up by 1. Back row. Hit him in with it. Up to Witt. Witt just taps it up in the air. Masters. What a beautiful tip by Grace. And, she knew right off the bat when they were 2 blockers right up there at that. I'm not going to jump over that. I'm just going to tip it over them.
That becomes all about knowing where you're at and where your defenders are.
And she rotates real quickly. And Haley Webb back inside after Masters picks up that point and the side out for the Cyclones.
Masters gets in for one play and gets the kill.
That's right. And what's a reward? Here's the bench.
That's right. Back to the pine for you.
Cross court, nice hit by Deland Weldon here. Damarajan up to the front. Anna Hancock, beautifully played. Has to go across here. It does. Olivia Smith up. That one's trouble. Back row, Damarajan right there, eating it up. And Olivia Smith reaches back on a nice set by Witt. Played back to the middle. What a block!
There's a block!
There we go.
So Olivia Smith with a big block right there. She had a good hit to the back row. She does that. She knows right where to hit it. She puts it in the back corner, and they scramble a little bit, and then she's there for the block.
Webb fires back row. Would have been out of bounds, but they played it. Up near side, fires cross court. Dug out great by Webb. Witt, back set. Hit him in. Fires cross court. That one not going to fall. Back up to the middle. Libero back. Damarajan. Now Witt. Near side. Anna Hancock. What a great hit by Anna. Up for the block, and that one's down.
Oh, we dodged a bullet on that one.
We did. We did. I wasn't going to say that too loud. We had handprints all over that net.
Yes. I think she got her hand stuck in the net for a little bit.
18-16, so a 2-point Cyclone lead here in set number 2. Yeah, notice our voices just went a little quieter right there.
And the Cyclones get away with one.
And again, they've played very consistently, and unfortunately, because of the unconventional hits that Deland is getting across, it's throwing us for a little bit of a loop and it's not allowing us to get in the groove. I mean, they've got short underhand serves at times. They've got stuff that's going deep. So maybe it plays to their advantage a little bit, but it's not developed.
It's unconventional, yeah. Yeah, so when our front row plays the first hit like that, it throws everything off. Because after that first hit, they want to be setting up for the set and the hit.
Yep.
And that throws them out of position, and so we haven't really been able to sync up with that set and the hit.
So Haley Webb now back to serve for the Cyclones. They're up by 2, 18-16. Let's wrap this up. Off the lights, going the wrong way, out of bounds, and 19-16. See if we just can't end this up here. Be nice for Webb just to do 6 straight, close it out. Let me find a subway.
There you go.
19-16. Webb.
Great serve from Webb.
Pretty. Up to the front.
Hey,
There's Smith. Ah, with the back row. She wasn't going to let it go.
I love the effort.
That was fantastic. I didn't think there was a chance, but she was going to give it her all.
She is not going to let a ball hit the ground if she can reach it.
Yeah, we had fans saying, kick it.
That's what she did Tuesday night.
And it went over.
Yep.
19-18 now as the Eagles get a point.
And they close it within 1.
Nice serve, back row, Damarajan. Up to Witt. Witt just bumps it up in the air. Hitteman reaches back, fires.
Oh, there's a good hit.
Nice hit by Hitteman. Up in the air, back to the back row, Damarajan. Set, near side, Anna Hancock fires. Nicely returned.
Another
there.
good hit,
Yep.
yeah.
Damarajan just saying, I got to get this up in the air. Hitteman just kind of bumps it over. Set up, reaches back for it, fires the back row. Webb digs it out. Witt, back set. Hitteman just has to bump it over. She does, but it was perfectly placed. She went for the back corner and hit that perfect.
Yeah, that went well. That back set hasn't been working real good, but that time it did just because she had a good look at the back court and put it right where they weren't.
Unruh back into the game. Damarajan gets a breather. Olivia Smith back to serve. Smith, nice serve. Short. Up. Unruh.
Yeah, she unloads.
Put that down, and they're playing it nicely. Back up in the air. Witt with it. Back set. Hitteman with it. Fires back corner out of bounds. And the Cyclones now up 21-18. 3 points ahead of the Eagles here in set number 2.
Unruh finally gets to unleash one. But, yeah, the
so
Eagles
much
are
fun
doing a
watching her
good
hit.
job digging those
They
out.
are. Their back row does a nice job. That one into the net, as we say that. They dig it out back into the net. 4-point Cyclone lead here. 22-18. They need 3 more. And we all call it done, and we're going to delay this by a minute as the Eagles take a quick timeout here. So we've only seen it maybe 2 or 3 times this year, but when those sets are perfect and you've got a person like Lauren Unruh up at the front row, I mean, you just kind of yearn for those moments because it feels so good to watch somebody like her smack it straight down.
When you see her bring her arm all the way back, you know that's going to be a hard hit.
There's not many people who are going to return that either.
No. And that's what gets the crowd into the game.
Yep.
Gets everybody livened up, and it's a completely different game when that happens.
It's a hard environment, too, for the players in a gym that is this quiet to, hey, not a lot of them are, bold, outgoing personalities like you, Jeremy. They're more quiet and reserved like me, and so it's hard to yell and scream and get your team all fired up.
It does affect your level of play, though. If the crowd's into it,
it does.
I mean, the energy in the gym is going to ramp up, too.
Olivia Smith doesn't seem to care. She's going to serve the same way regardless. So they're up by 4, 22-18. See if Olivia can end this here for the Cyclones. Nice serve by Smith. Deland has to get it across. They do. Tip it up. Nice save by Webb. Witt, back set. Hitteman just has to get that over. Up in the air. Number 23 reaches back row. Olivia Smith tips it up. Witt now over to Unruh, who just missed it again. She's done that a couple times tonight. And Unruh hits it into the net. So a side out back to the Eagles, and they're back within 3. We need 3 points. That's all we need. That's not a tall order right there.
No, we need that set to be up closer to the net.
Yep.
And Unruh will put it down from there.
We're back at the spike line setting, and we need to be about halfway up closer to the net.
Yep.
23 back to serve. Dug out by Webb. This one's trouble. Tipped over. What a nice save by Unruh. Set up. Anna Hancock just bumps it across. Tips it across. The Eagles do. Back to Witt. Oh, I thought we had it right there. Thought we had it right there. Unruh returns it. This one tipped up in the air. What a great dig by Haley Webb, and a nice play by Hitteman to save that and keep this live. Tipped over back row. That one out of bounds. Not quite. Point over to the Eagles. I didn't see it happen, but I saw Morin's head go back. So,
yeah, that was in, but it was close. And I don't know if he wanted Haley to go after that one or he was hoping it was going to be out, and it wasn't.
22-20. Deland back to serve. Fires this one. Dug out. Great. Damarajan. Nice tip by Witt just to get it over. Back to the middle. Damarajan one more time. Witt back set. Hitteman tips it back to the back row. Nobody was there. Side out and a point. 23-20. Cyclones up by 2 or 3.
Good look by Hitteman. She knew nobody was in the back right corner, and she just needed to get it back there. Nothing fancy.
She's going to have the time to end it here. Nice serve by Hitteman. That one's trouble, and she will have match point on this serve. 24-20.
And she's wiping the sweat off her brow.
Right.
I'm not sure what that's about.
She probably thought that might have been out of bounds. She's got a better angle at it than we do.
Yeah. She's got a good serve, so
She
she's
does.
got a good likelihood that she's going to put this one away with an ace.
Hitteman needs an ace. Here we go. Fired back corner. Going the wrong way. That's going to do it. Cyclones victorious in 2.
An ace to end it right there from Olivia Hitteman.
And I tell you what, that weird wave, just go over and shake their hands. You guys have been touching the same ball all night.
That's right.
I don't understand it. Let's see if the magic whistle comes out of the mask there. I know she's carrying on a conversation. Anyway, enough about all that. But the Cyclones came out tonight better than they came out Tuesday night, that's for sure.
We have a W tonight. Yeah, they did look better tonight. They're a little more in sync, but they're still playing to their competition.
Yep.
And like you said, it's hard when the crowd's not really into it. If this would have been a home game, this would have been a total blowout.
It would have. And, you don't have that same level of energy, just like you said, playing to the level of the competition. And not to knock anything from Deland Weldon, average school. We've played some above-average teams, and so that's what our standard is right now. So, hats off to the girls. Again, even in the record out at 500, back to 3-3. That does something for the confidence. So I can see coach's thought process. Hey, we got to get a couple of schools in here that we have to play because they're in our conference, and we've done that and split it so far with Unihigh and Deland Weldon. So yet this year we've got Calvary, we've got Greenview, we've got Decatur Christian, Judah Christian, and Arthur. We make a trip to Arthur here in a few weeks as well. So
And Arthur's always good competition, so is Judah Christian. So those will be tough games coming up. And Varsity's got a tough tournament coming up this Saturday.
Yep.
They'll get 4 games out of that one, I'm guessing.
or more.
Yeah.
Or more. I tell you, tonight I'm also very impressed. Calista Hammer, and she played very solid back in that back row. And then some service points in there where she stayed in to serve and actually subbed in for Anna Hancock. So coach trying to stretch out her a little bit as well and give her the confidence. Tonight was a good night to do it. But all in all, well played by the Cyclones. I mean, it was nothing spectacular, but well played.
No, and I would say the highlight tonight was the JV coming back from 24. Deland was at 24-19. 24-19.
Yep.
That's just good, solid mental toughness to play at one point at a time, not giving up.
And, Faith Hughes, who is a great server, but, does struggle at times with consistency while she's serving as well. To sit back and say the game's on my shoulders and to rail off 7 straight points, that was huge for her as well.
Absolutely. So she can be proud of herself for that tonight.
Fun night regardless. Glad we could bring it to you. Wins on both sides, JV and varsity, for the Cyclones. Both teams now 3-3 on the season, and we will have it for you. I am not going to be at the game on Saturday. Are you going down to the tournament on Saturday?
I am not going to be there either. I got family coming in town, so I'll be taking a break from that one.
That tournament is going to be streamed. I do not have that, but I'm sure Coach will be sending that live stream out. That is going to be happening from Decatur. And so our next match will be next Monday night. I believe it is Lexington coming into Cornerstone. So it'll be a home game, and we'll have an environment. And Lexington, always a tough rival for the Cyclones. We played them for several years and watched that team grow as well. So that ought to be a good game here in a few nights.
Yeah, and Lexington always plays us tough, but being at home, they'll have their hands full. And I think we'll surprise them this year. We're definitely a different team than we were last year. So,
yeah, ton of talent on this squad. Again, girls, a lot of fun to watch, and we were happy to bring it to you. For Jeremy Masters, I'm Dan Kinzinger. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you the next time around.
Good night.